Hi, guys. Welcome back to Girl Therapy. I'm your host, Nicole, and I am 1 year older. You are listening to me, and I am now 29 years old. It was just my birthday this past weekend. I can't believe it's already been a week since my birthday. That's insane. My birthday literally took a year off of my life. I'll just recap you guys a little bit. So, I was in Austin, Texas, visiting my best friend, Caitlin, and Livy also met me down there, and it was just such a special day. I don't remember the last time that I woke up on my birthday and I wasn't alone. And that sounds really, really sad, but I've always lived alone. Or I've lived alone a lot, in my adult life. So I think the last time I woke up and it was my birthday and I was with people was I think in COVID actually, but I woke up and I was with my mom, which, that's fine or whatever. But I can't remember the last time I woke up and I was surrounded by my friends, and it just made the day so much better because usually I wake up and I'm alone and I'll just go about my normal morning, and then maybe I'll do something with my friends in the afternoon, but majority it would just be like doing something at night, grabbing dinner, grabbing drinks, having a little party with my friends. Like that's what it's always been. But the entire day from beginning to end was so incredibly special, and even just the days leading up. Like I did a dinner here with my friends on Thursday or Wednesday before I left for Austin, and it was like my closest friends, and we just had such a nice time. And then I left for Austin, met Livy there. That day we went to dinner, and that night Livy gave me my present, and she gave me the most thoughtful gift ever. And I just couldn't believe that I have a friend like this in my life who just would do anything for me, put so much time and effort and energy into like being there for me, showing up for me, and giving me a gift that was just so special. We recorded pretty much the entire weekend, so I'll be posting all that on YouTube. But yeah, it was just so special, and we went to bed. I woke up that morning. I woke up next to Livy, which is so funny because I guess, I spent my last birthday with her, but it wasn't my birthday, but she's been with me now 2 birthday celebrations. And just the difference between, my first birthday that I spent with her, I didn't even know her. She was a stranger. And then this birthday, it's crazy because now it's like she's my sister. I can't imagine life without her. She went upstairs to meet Caitlin because we were all staying in the building that Caitlin lives in, and they had donuts waiting for me and balloons and music, and it was just so much fun. And I got my eyebrows done, which could have made my birthday a disaster, but it didn't. They turned out great. I got them laminated for the first time ever. After that, we just got a little workout in. We all hung out. We had a nice lunch, and then it was time to start getting ready for dinner. And then we went out, and we went to a club, and then we went to another bar, and I was just living. I was having the time of my life. Livy was like, who is that girl? Like, who was she? I was a different girl. I just didn't care because, when you're traveling, you just don't have a care in the world. I'm like, I'll never see these people again. I feel like I'm in a different dimension. No one knows who I am. Nobody cares what I do. I don't care what I do. I got a little drunk. I rode a bull. I danced a lot. I started a Congo line. I danced on a strip pole. I ripped my dress in half and shook ass in front of a bunch of old men, which was a hard watch looking back the next day, but I don't regret a single thing. I had so much fun. And then we did a pedal tavern the next day, and then I ended up staying another couple days after my birthday just to recover and relax and just have quality time with Caitlin. And it was an amazing birthday. I just feel like a whole new woman, which kind of leads me into what I want to talk about today, because I really am a whole new woman. I have learned so much this year. If you listen to last week's episode, or I learned so much when I was 28, I kind of talked about all the lessons that I've learned and how I've changed. Yeah, there's like the difference in the person that I am today on this birthday than I was last year is like night and day. I was really broken and fragile and a little bit lost, majorly lost, heartbroken, struggling with my self-worth, struggling with figuring out really my place in the world and what I want to do. And this year, I feel like in this entire year leading up to 29, I learned a lot of my hard lessons, and I got over my heartbreak, and I learned to love myself again. And I've never felt more like myself or had a better relationship with myself than ever before. And I really truly feel like a woman for the first time. Like I feel like a woman. I feel confident. I feel strong. I feel like I'm serving the world. I feel like I know myself, and I feel like I'm surrounding myself with the best people ever. That brings me into a little bit of what I want to talk about today, which is confidence. And also, I want to touch on the fact that I'm in my Saturn return. And I feel like this is such a pivotal moment. Usually during your Saturn return, major life shifts start happening. And my friend in Austin, she reads charts and she's really into the tarot stuff. I'm into it, but I don't study it a lot. So we were talking about my Saturn return and she pulled up my chart. So my Saturn return is in Pisces. And I just want to read what that means because there's a few lessons that come with your Saturn in Pisces. One is emotional maturity, learning how to manage and express your emotions in healthy ways. This period may challenge you to face your deepest feelings, perhaps dealing with unresolved issues or learning to let go of past hurts. And I feel like this was major for me. A light has been shown on my emotional maturity and kind of like where I'm at in that right now. I think I've always felt pretty emotionally mature just because I had to grow up really fast and be independent really fast. But at the end of the day, I was still a kid. A lot of the things that I was dealing with in terms of like my parents separating, I thought I was mature, but I was a kid. I didn't really know how to communicate and I didn't know how to manage my emotions. And it's not until now that I feel like I have a really good grip on my emotions and nobody controls those except for me. I have always been really good at expressing myself. I think I am a vulnerable person. I open up a lot on the internet and I open up about, goofy things on TikTok, whatever it is to make you guys feel normal or seen or know that it's just a part of life. I share a lot of heartbreaks with you guys, my mistakes I've made in dating, and that takes a lot of courage to open up and be vulnerable about. But at the end of the day, I know that's just life. And I'm also protected by a screen. It's kind of surreal that like I post and there's somebody on the other side of this listening to this. And I haven't met you guys in real life, but you guys know me really well. And a lot of the things that I say or do resonate with you and also change your life. And that's what I love most about what I do. But it's really different when I'm sitting down face to face with somebody and I have to be open and vulnerable and intimate with somebody in that way and connect with somebody in that way, especially somebody who I might love or might be afraid to lose. And I think opening up to somebody who you're afraid to lose and sharing parts of you that are a little bit scary to share is horrifying, because what if they don't like that? What if they leave? What if they think that that's a burden? Or what if they think like that's something that I can't handle? I had a tendency to go for guys who were safer for me in the sense where they weren't emotionally vulnerable and they weren't emotionally ready and they didn't have the space to let somebody in. They weren't emotionally available. So I felt comfortable sharing parts of me with them when I wanted to, and knowing that they wouldn't really take what I had to say and be afraid of it, because they wouldn't really digest it, if that makes sense. Like we weren't working through anything together. I would just share my feelings and that would be it. And it wouldn't scare them away because it just wasn't anything real. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, I knew that they were closed off. So it's like, what do I have to lose? It wasn't anything serious. And then when it comes to somebody who is serious and emotionally mature and has done the work and is a high value person, it's a little bit scary to open up to somebody and be vulnerable with somebody. And I went on a date when I was in Austin. Some of you guys saw it. He brought me to like a giraffe thing, which was very, very sweet. And it was such a fun date. And it was so thoughtful. We get along really well. It wasn't our first time hanging out, but it was our first really one-on-one date. We went to a park afterwards and he brought out a deck of cards, and it was to get deeper and to connect emotionally. And I, like I said, I am an open person. I'm an open book. I put my life out on the internet. I will answer pretty much anything about myself. But if we went from having such a fun date to now having these serious conversations, and I really just wanted to keep things light because I wanted to just see if there was a romantic connection with said person and see if there was something there. And he really craved a deeper connection, I guess, on this date, on this moment. And he wanted to learn about me, and he wanted to learn how to communicate with me, and he wanted to learn about my past, because that's not something that I've opened up to him about, because every time we've hung out, it's been a group setting and it's been really goofy and fun. So I think he wanted to see if there was something else there, which I totally respect. But I wasn't ready to be vulnerable and open up to him. And these questions started to get like kind of deep and real, and it kind of started to send me into a spiral, because the last thing I want to do on a date is think about why my father left, or why I am the way that I am, or where I'm struggling right now, or, how I fix things or change things, or high points and low points. Like that's the last thing I really want to think about when I'm on a date with somebody, first date too. And I start to like shut down, and I start to feel like really closed off. And I start to feel like the way that I felt when, my dad and my mom would fight, or he would leave, and I would shut down and I wouldn't say anything, and I'd be quiet because that was easier. I had to be strong, and I always associated quiet with strong. When I was younger, I just thought it would be better for me not to say anything, and it was safer for me not to say anything, and it was safer for me not to show emotion. And I got really comfortable in that And I would always be like, I can figure things out myself. I can talk things through myself. I don't need to talk to anybody. And when people raise their voice at me, especially, not saying this guy did, I also shut down. And I know this stuff about myself. And with my ex-boyfriend, I remember when me and him used to fight, we didn't really know how to communicate with each other. And I didn't really know these things about myself yet. And I hadn't worked on them. I would shut down. I wouldn't say anything. And he'd be like, it's like fighting with a wall. He'd be like, it's like talking through things with a wall. You just shut down. You don't say anything. And it's just because for years, like, that's how I handled things. And I just thought it was easier and stronger of me to just be quiet and to just handle things in my head on my own. And on this date, I started to shut down. Like, I didn't want to talk about certain things. Just wasn't there with him. I didn't feel safe with him yet. I don't feel like I can trust him yet. And I know he's a trustworthy person, but we're just not there yet in our relationship. I say in quotes, in our, whatever it was. I told him, I was like, I'm shutting down. Like, I'm really afraid to be vulnerable with somebody. And he's like, I can tell. When this happens, like, I can't continue. And he was like, okay, do you want to leave? And we left. And then I just, like, the way I get over that is I just start cracking jokes and whatever. But like, it was really hard for me to like see me like that, because I hadn't seen me like that in so long. And it just showed me that like I still do have a lot of work to do, and that's okay. But it also showed me that like it's gonna take the right person to bring that out of me. I think I still have a lot of ways to go in learning like how to communicate and be vulnerable with somebody that I really want to share a life with. I do it with my friends very easily, but it is really scary with a partner. And I think that this is the year that I am gonna start, really dating seriously and taking people seriously and sharing parts of me that are probably really uncomfortable with somebody who I might end up sharing a life with. So that's kind of like where I'm at that. And I think like that's major in my Saturn return is I am really emotionally maturing and like working through unresolved things from my past and realizing, wow, these things actually that happened to me when I was a kid really did affect me and affects how I build relationships and how I see relationships and who I let in. And also just like letting go of a lot of past things that have happened. I think I have a lot of unresolved things. I will just say this, like with my mother and my father. And I don't know how or when those things are going to get resolved. It's clear that there's still some work there for me to do before I think I can be really available for somebody completely, or at least be able to work through it with somebody or have conversations with somebody, because there's still some like missing parts or things that I'm still trying to figure out myself. The next one's spiritual growth. So deepening of spiritual understanding or finding meaning in life's challenges. For some, this may mean exploring spiritual practices or philosophies that offer guidance and clarity. I think I had a lot of spiritual growth, and I'm still going through a lot of spiritual growth obviously right now, but yoga has helped me a lot with that and just becoming more in tune with my body and being comfortable being like at the mercy of the universe, if that makes sense. Like I really had to let go of control a lot this year, and just to kind of go with the flow and trust that I'm taken care of and trust that I wouldn't be handed something that I can't handle. Really just taking the time to like slow down and appreciate the small things. So that's kind of where I've been at with like the spiritual growth. Boundaries. This one is major. Learning the importance of setting and respecting boundaries, both personally and in relation to others. Pisces energy can sometimes blur lines, so this return could highlight the needs for a clearer distinction between oneself and others. And boundaries has been huge for me in friendships this year, and also romantic relationships. In terms of friendships, it was like letting people go who weren't serving me and who were disrespecting me and not being a good friend to me. And that's a boundary that I have. If you're not treating me with respect, if you're not showing up for me, if you're not being a good friend, I have to put my foot down and let you go. For so long, I let people cross a boundary with me. I let people disrespect me. I let people not show up for me or be good friends to me. I kept just making excuses, and it led me into some friendships, or it led me to hold on to some friendships that weren't serving me. I really like took a look at like my standards for the people surrounding me in my life and my boundaries. And I was like, who's crossing these and who's not respecting these? And I let those people go. And in terms of like relationships and romantic relationships, I was letting people take advantage of me. I was giving more than I was getting. In this last like 6 months, I've really put my foot down. I am respecting myself by setting a boundary. And if you respect me, you'll respect my boundary. I'm really proud of myself for the boundaries that I've set and the expectations that I have for the people surrounding me in my life. Also, I think the boundary of how I let people in my energy or talk to me on the internet. Obviously, doing social media, I am a magnet for people who want to just either take things out on me or are insecure or not confident themselves or need somebody to project onto. And I used to see negative comments and either comment back or just ignore them and be like, oh, whatever. Because I used to think like, okay, to delete the comment or to not respond would show weakness. But I realized I wouldn't let that person surround me. I wouldn't let that person have any of my energy. And if someone throws me a comment that I don't like, I just block them. And that's it. I am not scared of literally losing followers because of it. Another boundary that I've learned is, learning what I want to share on the internet and what I want to share with people in my life. I'm choosing to keep certain things sacred now, and I'm choosing to keep things to myself because I don't want it to be an invitation for some people to comment on. And that's not a weakness. That's me respecting my own boundaries. That's like kind of some of the stuff that's happening in my Saturn return. And I also think this Saturn return and being 29 now, I've learned so much about myself and I'm the most confident version of myself. This is going to lead me into confidence and things that I've just been dealing with. I have never dealt with so many comments about my body in my life. Usually I would get comments about, you guys wanting my workout routine, me having your dream body and all this stuff, which I appreciate. Like, I work really hard for my body. I show it off. I wear little workout sets. Like, my body is definitely on the internet. So obviously there's people are going to comment on it and say things about it. And it's just so crazy that I recently have kind of gained a little bit of weight, and not a lot. Like, I'm still very active. I'm still working out, but I've been traveling. I've been enjoying. I just have allowed myself more freedom than ever before. And I will say, like, I have the healthiest relationship with food right now, but I've never received so many comments about, wow, you gained weight, or that doesn't look good on your body type, or it's amazing that you could gain weight and still wear a bathing suit and be confident. And it's like, these people are acting like I'm a freaking whale. Like, I gained like 5 pounds. Somebody was like, did you get cheek filler? Like, your face looks really full. The last thing I ever need is cheek filler. All I have to do is drink for a night or eat out a couple times, and I carry weight like in my face. I'm a little person too. Like, I put on weight pretty easily, and I've always put on weight easily. I put on muscle easily. I'm just like a muscly curvy girl. It would take way more effort for me to be thin, and it has in the past. Like, it takes a lot for me to like lose weight and stay at a smaller weight. My body just wants to naturally carry a little bit more weight, especially in my ass. That's always how I've been. It's a blessing and a curse. Okay. Yeah. There's not many places for fat to go. When I eat, like, I gain weight. If I'm eating out a lot, I'm going to gain weight. The amount of comments that I've received about my body and people thinking they have a say or that it's okay to make comments about it is just crazy to me. In the past, I've talked about my eating disorder with you guys and my relationship with food in previous episodes. So I'm not going to touch too much on that, but I've never really talked about like my confidence and how I navigate that when my body's fluctuating. I used to place all my self-worth on my weight. I used to only have confidence based on what I looked like on the exterior. And I would say, like, I've always been a pretty confident person in general. Like, I'm very outgoing. I'm very loud. I don't have any social anxiety. Like, I'll go up to anybody and talk to anybody, and I'm very confident in like who I am. I know I'm funny. I know I'm smart. I know I have a great personality. I know I have a lot to offer. I would say when I was younger, if I was having a bad body image day, if my jeans didn't fit, if I didn't like the way I looked, if I felt bloated, if I had a pimple, very like vanity oriented things, I would have a bad day. I would be in a bad mood. I maybe wouldn't want to go out. I wouldn't want to wear certain things. I'd want to like wear an oversized t-shirt, which I get. Like, sometimes when I'm bloated, like, yeah, I'm going to throw on an oversized t-shirt. Nobody wants to be walking around like that. It's just uncomfortable. Or like if I used to like gain 5 pounds, or if somebody made a comment about my body, I would feel disappointed in myself. I would feel upset. I would feel disgusted and angry, and I would want to lose weight. And I'd be like, okay, well, I'm just going to lose weight. I just won't eat. I'll just over exercise. I'll just do this or this or that. Then I'll be confident again. Then these people can't say these things about me. And then I'll feel good about myself. And once my pimple clears up, I'll go out. Or once I lose this weight, then I'll wear that. It's just so shallow to think that way, and to think of yourself that way, and to think my weight is what gives me confidence. It wasn't really up until recently that I now understand that weight never did anything for my confidence. I remember being the skinniest I ever was and being the most insecure because I was relying so much on external factors and what I looked like in the mirror, and if people were commenting on my body or if people were complimenting it, and I was riding off all that to feel good. And that's just not sustainable, and that's fake. That's not real confidence. That's fake confidence. I have so much more to offer. The biggest difference now is that I love my body no matter what. I appreciate my body no matter what. I'm grateful that I have this body and that it gets me through this life. I also know that I'm in full control, and I used to not be in control. I know that if I want to lose 5 pounds, I can do that. If I want to gain 5 pounds, I can do that. I can do whatever the hell I want. I'm powerful, I'm in control, and I have the willpower and I have the strength to do so. I know that my confidence isn't going to change if I lose 5 pounds. I know it's not going to change if I gain 5 pounds either. I'm just using 5 pounds as an example. I don't know why. Any weight, it doesn't matter. This past week in Austin and just like the weeks leading up, I've been traveling so much and I haven't been in control of a lot of things and my workouts and what I'm really eating. Like obviously I'm in control of that, but it's like if I'm eating out, like when we order dessert, like I'm gonna eat it. Like I'm gonna enjoy it. And I know that when I go back home, I'm gonna get back in routine and I'm in full control. And if I choose to lose weight, I can do that too. I just feel, I guess that's just like confidence in myself, that like I trust myself and I know myself. I'm doing what's going to make me happy and I'm feeding my soul. And I know that there's so much more to me than just what I weigh and what's on the scale. Part of me like would see some of these comments and be like, oh, this person's right. Like I did gain weight. Like I'm going to be honest, I'm a human. Like I'd be like, I liked how I looked before, or I have been slacking or this or that. Let me lose weight. Let me do this. Let me get back to fasting or whatever it is. But it's like, that's not the example that I want to set for you guys or for people who are younger than me and listening to this. I made so many mistakes and missed out on so many things when I was younger because I thought that if I was smaller or if I lost weight or if I looked a certain way, I'd have more confidence and then people would like me more. But the honest truth is that people have liked me my entire life, no matter what my weight is. And if somebody doesn't like me or accept me because of my weight, they're crazy and they're not somebody that I want in my life. People have always commented on my energy and my personality and things that I've either done with them or moments that we've shared together or like funny times. Like not once has anybody ever looked back on a time when I was with them and made a comment about my weight. And I want you to know that too. I may weigh a little bit more or look slightly different, but if anything, I'm more confident because I am following my heart and I'm trusting myself and I'm trusting my intuition and I'm just going after what I want and I'm doing what I want and I'm really happy. And when I'm happy, I'm confident. When I'm showing up for myself, I'm confident. When I'm putting out the energy that I want to receive, when I'm being the person that I want to be, when I'm just not spewing on the internet, balance, is key and balance this and enjoy yourself and, indulge. And I'm actually living that truth. I'm not just saying that and like going home and not eating, or I'm not just saying that and going home and over exercising or feeling guilty. It's like I'm truly living that reality now. And because of that, I feel so good about what I have to offer and what I have to say in my platform. And I feel so confident and I feel so happy. There's no area in my life in which I'm restricting or restraining or not being myself or being true to myself. And when you're true to yourself, you're confident. My biggest pet peeve is when people say, how are you confident? Because I think there's an underlying tone there that says like, you shouldn't be confident. Why are you confident? I want you to know that you should all be confident. I know that's easier said than done. Obviously, everybody should be confident. You are a gift. You have something to offer this world and you are important. So why would you not be confident in that? You should be confident in the fact that you're different and the fact that you're unique. You should celebrate your differences. You should celebrate the fact that you are a human living the human experience and you're adding value to the world. Like you should absolutely be a confident person. You should walk with your head high and your shoulders back and just know that like you're going to impact somebody's life. And that's why I'm confident, honestly. And I think some things that you can do to feel confident is one that is walk with your head up, make eye contact with people, smile at people, stand taller, look like you own that room, invite people in, don't like look down, don't look away, don't be afraid to invite people in to your space or to your energy. And walk around like you own that bitch, like you do. This is your fucking world. We're all just living in it. And guess what? We're all gonna fucking die too. Sorry not to get morbid. Oh my God. But like we are. You have one fucking life to live. I'm just getting really passionate. You have one life to live. Live it. Who cares what people have to say or think about you? I would hate for you to make yourself smaller, to make somebody else feel bigger, or to fit in, or to not be noticed. Wear the crazy outfits, do the crazy hairstyles, say the things, be loud, go for it. Just do whatever you want to do, and do it with confidence and doing it with pride, and do it knowing that if you fail, if someone has something negative to say, if things don't work out, if you get disappointed, that's okay. That doesn't define you. That doesn't mean you're doing things wrong. That doesn't mean that one person's opinion now defines you. Own who you are, own your mistakes, own the shit that's going on with your life, and move on and trust yourself that you can fix it and that you can go up from there. Know that you can just keep going. Another thing that makes me feel confident is when I'm learning and when I'm reading and when I'm talking to people, when I'm investing in myself and when I'm ingesting information that is important and is interesting, whether that means watching documentaries, reading books, talking to people who are smarter than you. Learning things always makes me feel more confident, and learning things that I love to talk about, or learning things that I can share with other people. That always makes me feel really confident. Another way that I feel confident is through movement. And when I go to the gym, when I get a good workout in, I feel strong, which makes me feel confident. If I am feeling a little bit like shy, or if I'm feeling not good about my body, I get naked and I dance in the mirror. I listen to music and I just move. I look at my body. Like I just look at it and I'm like, wow, there's only one body in the world that looks like this, and it's mine. I appreciate it and I love it. And I just do whatever I want to do. Dance like a crazy woman. I don't care. Nobody can see me. And when you just let go of that, and when you start to let yourself feel free, is when you gain confidence. When you just fully express yourself without any hesitations, without worried about if people's eyes are on you, that's when you gain confidence. And then when you do that in public, if you dance like crazy in public, close your eyes, do whatever you want, flail around, you're in your own little space. And people are going to look at you and be like, wow, that's her fucking dance move. That's her signature dance move. Wow, she's moving. Nobody's looking at you being like, oh, wow, that's really weird. And if they are, then they're weird and you'll never see them again. Another way that I gain confidence is not only obviously telling myself these things about me, having positive self-talk, is also surrounding myself with people who are also confident. Everybody is on a spectrum of confidence. Not everybody can show up and be extremely confident. I'm not always the same level of confidence, so I get that. Again, somebody who's not confident isn't a bad person, but that energy can rub off on you. And I remember I was in Italy and I was with my friend, and she's not used to wearing, I'm used to wearing whatever. I'll wear my thong and I'll walk around Publix in my bikini. I don't give a fuck. But she's not used to wearing things that are a little bit more, I would say, scandalous or revealing. And it wasn't revealing at all. We were wearing a crop top and a skirt. We were walking through Italy and no one was really dressed like that. We were going to a club, but we had walk through the small town. And she was really starting to hide herself and get nervous about how she was being perceived or people's eyes on her. And that's something that I've never even cared about. I can wear whatever the fuck I want. It's not like I'm naked. It's not like I'm wearing anything so outrageously crazy. If people want to look, they want to look. I look good. I feel confident. But she was starting to feel a little bit weird. And then it made me also start to feel a little bit weird. I was like, should I feel weird about this? So make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who are also confident, because I think confident people also build up confident people. If someone's insecure and not feeling good or confident, they're going to try to tear you down. They're going to say negative things. Maybe they're going to talk negatively about themselves, or maybe they're also just going to have little passive aggressive comments towards you, or just give that energy of not confidence. And somebody who's not confident is definitely going to try to tear down the people around them just so that everybody's on the same level, or to make them just feel better about themselves. Some people gain confidence by tearing other people down, and that's horrible. I actually gain confidence by building people up. I'm like, yeah, you look good in that. Yeah, you should wear that. Yeah, you should do this. Yeah, we should do this together. Yeah, I surround myself with a bad bitch who walks into a room and owns the place. Those are the people that I want to surround myself with, because that'll rub off on me and that makes me feel good. And I surround myself with people who build me up and encourage me and support me and dream big for me as well. And that's really important for my confidence. If you are in control of the people around you, then definitely only surround yourself with people who give you confidence and feed your confidence. And if there's people, maybe you have coworkers and you just can't help to be around them, or family members, try to protect your energy as much as you can and know that whatever someone says about you is merely an opinion and usually just a projection. Those are just like some ways that I go about life and how I'm confident. And I think the more that you do it, the more confident you become and the more that you start to believe it. I go through phases. I have really high highs and really low lows. I'm also somebody who internalizes things a lot. So when I'm feeling confident, when I'm feeling good, like I'm on my high horse, I'm killing life, I'm doing everything, I'm doing the most. Like I think I can run for president. Literally, like I think that I run the fucking world. But then sometimes things will go wrong, things won't go my way. Maybe I'll get rejected or turned down or put on something that I thought was gonna eat, like I thought I was gonna eat up an outfit and then I don't. And then I'm like, oh, well, that didn't give what it was supposed to give. And then I start to feel not confident. And then maybe I start to think about things and think like, oh my God, like imposter syndrome. Like I'm crazy for thinking I could do that, or that I was that bitch, or like I'm crazy for thinking that that person would be into me, or I'm crazy for thinking that I could do that thing. And then I start to talk negatively to myself, and then I get into a spiral, and then I'm feeling low and I'm not feeling confident. And I sit in that emotion. And I think an important thing to know is that it's okay to experience that emotion, but it's just temporary. And if you tell yourself now all the bunch of negative things and start affirming those things to yourself, you're going to get stuck there. So I think it's important to also recognize that when you are not feeling good and when you are feeling down, to say, okay, that's okay. It's okay things didn't go my way, or it's okay that I got rejected. It's okay that I need to go back to the drawing board and that I failed, and we can move on from that. And how can I get to feeling good again? How can I get to feeling confident again? And how can I learn from this and then move on? And having confidence is being okay with failures and knowing you're not perfect and knowing that you can learn from your lessons and then move on. So if you never allow yourself to feel discouraged, if you never allow yourself to feel the disappointment, you'll never get there. If you just don't sit in that and you just try to ignore it, then that's also harmful. I think like allow yourself to hit rock bottom, allow yourself to feel the lows, so that you can build yourself up to feel the highs. Because the more that you stand up when you're down, the more that you pick yourself back up, the more confidence that you have in knowing that when I get rejected again, or when I get disappointed again, or things don't go my way again, which it will happen because that's life, I have the confidence to pick myself up and keep going, to show up better for myself and to own my mistakes and to learn from them. And that's it. Yeah, I just think that those are all things that you can do to feel more confident. When you're a confident person, you're going to surround yourself with the right people, and you're also going to attract the right people, especially in dating. I think when you know yourself really well and you're showing up for yourself and you have your boundaries set, you're going after the things that you want in this life, it's going to translate into dating and attracting healthy relationships and partners into your life. The more that you go on dates, the more comfortable you're going to get doing it. It's really just practice makes perfect. But the more you know yourself, obviously, the more comfortable dating is. The more that you're okay with getting rejected, and the more that you're okay with going on a date and being like, whether or not this person likes me, that says nothing about who I am as a person. I know that this person would be lucky to experience me. Will I like them? And that becomes the question when you're a confident person. It's not, will they like me? It's, will I like them? Because you know what you bring to the table. And it's so important to, I think, date in that energy than to go into a date hoping to gain confidence from somebody liking you, or hoping to make somebody like you to then feel good about yourself, or to gain somebody's attention because the way you look. Like I think a problem too is like on dating apps, we're really just judging people based on how they look, and people are judging us based on how we look. So when somebody likes us, it's like, ooh, another little boost of confidence, another like ego boost. And we're like gaining all this fake confidence, but then we're scared to actually go out on the dates and meet these people because maybe they don't like what's on the interior. So I think like it's so important to really do a lot of the work on the interior and know that confidence is not at all from the exterior. I think it's an addition to it. But if you feel like shit on the inside and you look good on the outside, one negative comment, one little moment of self-doubt, one like creeping thought of negativity, or one thing not working, like your eyeliner doesn't work, your hair looks bad, a hair is out of place, your outfit doesn't work, you're going to crumble and you're not going to feel good. So it's so important to like really do the interior work, gain that confidence by doing all the things that I said. Then the exterior stuff will just follow. And people will start noticing. Like when you are confident, people will notice your glow. And I love when people comment like, "Oh, like you're glowing," because for me, that shows that like my energy on the inside is right, and I'm showing up correct, and I'm showing up as the person that I want people to see me as. It's not just, wow, you look so pretty, wow this, wow that. It's like you're glowing, you're attracting like the right things, like your energy like feels so good, I can feel it through the screen. Like those are the comments that I want, because that means that I'm doing something right, and it's not just so focused on like how I look. And another thing that actually gives me confidence is like being kind of like open and weird on the internet and like vulnerable. And I know like, again, not everybody has this social media following, but I don't mean it in that way. Like, be okay with looking a little messy, be okay with being a little disheveled, be okay with like knowing that you're not always going to look perfect or have it all together. It's okay to like not take life so seriously. And that's actually something that totally gives me confidence, is when I get on, Instagram for you guys, and I just post funny shit. Like I post whatever the fuck I want. I post me looking ugly. I post real angles. I post, just things that make me genuinely happy, and things that, show me as who I am as a person, and know that like I'm not a perfect person, and I'm never going to pretend to be that, and I'm never going to just try and show up like that every single day, because that's not realistic. And I gain confidence again by just being myself. So don't be afraid to like be a little bit weird. Don't be afraid to show exactly who you are. Don't be afraid to like to lean into your imperfections, to show your imperfections, to show people the sides of you that maybe people are more reserved in showing. That's just like my little hot take on that. Have fun. Those things about you, those experiences that you experience, those funny moments that you have, the embarrassing moments, maybe even that, like those are the moments that you kind of gain confidence, because it's like, wow, I got through that thing and I survived. And people can also relate to that. And it was also funny, and it's a part of my story. I'm sorry if this felt like a little bit all over the place. I didn't plan this really at all, but I love these types of episodes because it's really just me talking, and it's me kind of doing, I mean, this is why I started girl therapy, but giving myself therapy, talking through things that I'm working through, and hopefully you guys can relate to it and gain something from it as well. And I in no way ever claim to be an expert. And that's also actually something like in last week's Q&A, somebody commented just being like, hey, like if you want people to take you seriously, you should get like your PhD, or like people have real issues, stop trying to like give advice. And it's like, I have experiences in life. I'm not sitting here claiming to be a real therapist. I'm just sitting here showing up as myself and knowing that like I did experience these things. These things are happening to me. These are my emotions. They're completely valid. And these are my thoughts, and I'm allowed to share them. And if they resonate with you, they resonate you, and amazing. And if I'm able to help you or encourage you, just make you feel good, give you a laugh, whatever it is, that's why I do this. And that's what gives me confidence as well. Me sharing my truth, and just knowing that not everybody's gonna agree with it, or not everybody's gonna like it, and that's fucking okay. But thank you guys for joining me and sitting down with me on my couch. I'm literally just cuddled up in a blankie. This like episode was so much fun for me to do. I hope wherever you are, whatever time it is, you have an amazing day, night, evening, afternoon. I hope you're enjoying your lunch, whatever it is. And I hope this episode helped you gain more confidence and just made you feel good. And you can always go to my Instagram to feel good too. I'm always posting goofy, fun things on there, and I pretty much post my entire life on there, so you guys can follow my day-to-day. I have no boundaries when it comes to Instagram. And obviously follow me on YouTube and TikTok and anywhere else you can find me. But I love you girls so, so, so fucking much. And I will catch you next week on another episode of Girl Therapy. Bye.